You won't find a more passionate group of content marketers anywhere else in the world.
This is an event that celebrates all of the how-tos, and you're going to see some of the best and most world-renowned speakers and experts on this topic.
This is where you come to find your people. Join us for Content Marketing World 2022, September 13th through the 16th. We'll see you there.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Amanda with the Content Marketing Institute. Thank you so much for joining me for this Monday Ask the CM World Community live stream, where each time we dive into a new topic with an awesome guest from our CM World community. This live stream is brought to you by the Content Marketing Institute. We are the leading training and education organization for all things content marketing. You can learn more by heading over to contentmarketinginstitute.com. We have all kinds of great stuff, our latest news articles, webinars, ebooks, research, and so much more to check out there. We had a summer break here for a couple weeks with our live stream, but now we're back. And if you joined us earlier this summer, you know that we are gearing up for our big event, Content Marketing World. It's the largest content marketing event on the planet, which we call CM World. So be sure to follow that and use that hashtag across our social. It's coming up here closely, September 13th through the 16th in Cleveland, Ohio, with an online version September 20th and 21st. So over these few weeks, we've been talking to and we'll be interviewing some of our amazing speakers who will be at the event. And when we're done here, I hope you head over to contentmarketingworld.com to learn more, and you can register as well and use that little code there, Live100, to save on your registration. I'll have that up for you again at the end of the interview. As always, if you're joining me, give me a virtual wave, say hello, let me know where you're joining me from. Ask if you have any questions or comments as we go along today. Please feel free to drop them in the comment section. We love to hear from you. It makes for such a better and more engaging live stream when you guys all chat with us. So I see some of you already checking in as well. And I know we have people from all over the world, United Kingdom joining us, Toronto, Canada. Hello, Daniel, everyone. Awesome. Great to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. I am super excited about today's topic. How is your brand or company using YouTube? Do you just post your video content and cross your fingers and hope for the best? Or do you actually want to generate sales for your business? There are effective ways to do that. And today we're going to chat about some of the best practices when it comes to using YouTube and some tactical tips on converting your viewers into sales. As I said, I'm a big fan of today's guests. Since 2011, Tim Schmoyer has been a leading YouTube strategist in the online video industry. His company, Video Creators, has been featured on Fox, Forbes, BBC, and even YouTube themselves uses his team to train creators and brands to master YouTube. Their clients have organically grown, listen to this, over 18 billion views and 81 million subscribers. So I think that, Tim, you know what you're talking about.
Hopefully you'll find out, I guess.
Thank you so much for joining us. And as I said, you've been in the business, this YouTube business, for a long time. Like, you've seen it all when it comes to YouTube.
I have seen a lot. Yeah, we're actually, I forgot, I haven't updated our bio. We're at like over 20 billion views now. I've done YouTube strategy for Disney, for the Batman stuff, for Warner Brothers and eBay and Budweiser and HBO and a whole bunch of stuff, all the way down to like people who are like, how do I just get started? I'm working really hard, but I don't feel like I'm getting the results I need for the amount of energy and effort I'm putting into it. So we've seen a lot for sure.
Yeah, I love that you work with the big brands, and then you also the content creators and entrepreneurs who are really trying to launch their business. So
yeah.
Well, let's just dive in here. Some people think, and I hear this, get these questions a lot on my team too, like their magic formula for YouTube, right? If you have the right length of video and you use the right keywords, or you post at just the right time of day, you'll have success on YouTube. But in your experience, what's the most important element in finding success on YouTube?
Yeah, there's a lot of people trying that. And when they're telling me, like in a consultation or something, like, this is everything I'm doing, I'm using this tool for the keywords I'm doing, and all I have to do is just say, well, that sounds great. How's that working for you? And then there was like, oh, well, I'm like, exactly. Okay. So let's try something different, because we know the definition of like when you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, right? Like, so let's try that. So yeah, there's not really a magic formula, but there are certainly some consistent principles that lead to growth more predictably than others. And our process starts with making sure that you first understand the target audience you're going after. And I don't mean like demographic info. I mean like maybe even more psychographic, but just like, what is their story emotionally? What's compelling them to look for content like this and to engage and watch? And then two, how do we quickly then get that first time viewer to feel like, where have you been my whole life? Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for, right? And there's a lot of signals that can help a first-time viewer pick up on, like, start feeling that way fairly quickly. But to boil it all down, I mean, one, it's like, yeah, hook their attention with good titles, good thumbnails, and quote, good content, whatever good content is. But good content as defined by Google lately after a lot of research, just to confirm what we probably already knew, which is that a good video that grows, you want the magic formula, so to speak, is the closest formula to success would be something that would be more like Hero's Journey, a really good story that has been proven to hook someone's attention, hold their attention, and then get them to take some sort of action as a result at the end. Last week was my wife. We celebrated our 16-year wedding anniversary, and we went to Rhode Island, had a good time together. And I made like a little video of our just some memories. And I brought with me the DSLR. I brought with me 4 different lenses. I brought with me the ND filters and the microphones and everything. But what did I end up using? I had all that in my back, but I just used this the entire time. I published that video and it performed exactly the same way as something would have if I put all the energy into like doing something fancier. And that was because the story was compelling about a guy and his wife, 16-year wedding anniversary, dancing alone together while the sun's rising on the beach. That is way more emotional, and whether it's caught on a phone or a DSLR, so.
Yeah, the quality of the content, quality of the storytelling. Like, don't just waste all this time. That's what I always tell people. You don't have to waste time like buying the best equipment when you're starting out. Like, just if you have a story to tell the story, right?
That's right. Yeah, just use your phone. Yep, there's some good apps out there that just make it a pretty powerful tool, which I was surprised by this past week. So yeah, it's good.
So if you're just joining us, I'm with Tim Schmoyer with Video Creators. We're talking about YouTube strategies. Tim, we have people joining us from all over Iran, Surrey, Pakistan, Boston, India. So thank you all for joining us. If you have a question as we go along, please feel free to drop it in the comments and we will try to get to it. So we know good content, good storytelling, but there are a few tactical things because you talk a lot about titles and thumbnails and the importance of those, which like I know we have been trying to work on all that ourselves here on our team. So, you know, what are sort of maybe some best practices when it comes to those type of things?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how amazing your story is. It doesn't matter how emotional it is, and if you've got all the right signals and stuff in the product, if no one clicks on it in the first place, right? So we really got to like quote sell this video to get someone even into it in the first place. And a lot of these same principles are true about how to get someone into your content, which is true how you hold their attention. And so coming to titles and thumbnails specifically, it's really important that this title and thumbnail creates intrigue. It has to spark curiosity. I work with a lot of creators. I think we've worked with, we worked with over 4,000 creators. And one of the most common things that we see for creators are like, the content's good. I'm like, the content's actually not bad, but this title and thumbnail is merely a description of the thing. It doesn't actually tease a benefit or reward or value. There's no like, did that really happen or no? Like there's no question mark popping up above the viewer's head that compels them to click on that thumbnail and that title versus any of the other ones that they're seeing, which is, you know, content marketing 101. You know, people have been making millions writing good headlines for magazines and billboards and newspapers for a long time. And the same principles now just apply to YouTube. In terms of some you know, technical things for the thumbnail, two things. We say that remember, it has to pass the glance test, which is like if you're crafting your YouTube thumbnail, just kind of look away. I don't want you to zoom. Like usually people edit their thumbnails in their full 4K or 1080p resolution. I want you to like zoom out so it's small, the way someone would see it as a suggested video on YouTube. You look away, and then you kind of glance at it and look away again, and just like what stood out to me, like where did my eye go when I only glance at it? Because that's closer to the environment that people will actually be experiencing that thumbnail on YouTube. And when you do that test, what you'll likely find is a lot of the text you're using is actually detracting from the visual that would spark some sort of curiosity. Too much text will especially like not be helpful. Repeating the title of the video in the text of the thumbnail is redundant and unnecessary. So really focus on a really clear visual with the thumbnail. That's what catches people's eyes first. Then they typically look at the title. So those two things need to complement each other. We say it's got to be, you know, someone's just on their phone and they're just scrolling like this. It's got to be a thumb-stopping thumbnail where someone's like, whoa, what was that? Let me back up a little bit. So thumb-stopping thumbnail, pass the glance test, spark curiosity, pitch reward, value, benefit. All those are very important for getting people into your content in the first place.
Yeah, and I think you talk about this, and if anyone, you should definitely sign up for Tim's newsletter because I read it a lot. But
thank you.
I find great value out of it. But you know, you talk about like
now I feel pressure.
You talk about like you should think about those two things at the beginning of even maybe before making the video. Like those two things are just as important as making the video. Is what are the thumbnail and the title?
Yeah, title and the thumbnail. Yeah, we have some of our clients who have, you know, millions of subscribers. It's not uncommon for them to spend a day just brainstorming all of the titles and thumbnails that they think their audience would click on. It doesn't matter if they have a really good video idea. If they can't come up with a good title and thumbnail, they know no one's going to watch it. And so they don't bother to make the video unless they come up with a good title and thumbnail first.
Muhammad is asking, what is the ideal text limit for thumbnail? Is there?
Ideal is 0. Like, don't like text. I don't want to hurt it. It's a lazy way of communicating when you got a visual that you could use instead. So not saying that text can't be used, but if you do use text, use it to complement the title. So like, let me give you an example. We work with one brand. Can't reveal who it is because I don't have permission, but it's a big nationally known think outdoor grills and cooking type of brand. Okay. So they have a grill and they're making this video, and it's like the title is something like how to grill chicken on this model grill, right? They're getting all the right keywords in there. It's a picture of the grill. And we're like, no. That's descriptive. That doesn't spark curiosity. So we changed the thumbnail to, the thing that sparked curiosity for me, do you know what spatchcock chicken is, Amanda, by any chance? No, I didn't either. So I'm watching this, and what they do is they take out like the breastbone and they flatten it out, the whole chicken out flat, and it looks like this mangled chicken. I'm like, what is that? You know? And they're like, oh, it cooks more evenly because now the whole thing's spread out and things. And I was like, well, there's your thumbnail. Right? That sparks curiosity. So forget about the grill. The only person who's going to click on that title and thumbnail is someone who has that particular grill and doesn't know how to grill chicken. Right. So, which is, they got a couple thousand views and stopped. So then, so it said we had a thumbnail, no text at all. It was just one side was like a whole chicken on the grill with a red X, and the other side was a spatchcock chicken, like looking mangled with a green check mark on it. And the title was just, "You're doing it wrong." Right?
Great.
No, there's no keywords, no how to, no grill, no model number, chicken wasn't even in there. And YouTube doesn't need any of that info because they're scanning the video frame by frame while it's uploading, matching it against copyrighted material. They can geotag where your video was shot based on like a mountain range in the background, right? So like they don't need any of our keywords and titles or anything. You know what brand glasses you're wearing, you know, everything. The roll, tilt, and pan of your head, the emotional expression, everything, frame by frame. So so we did change it that way. No text on the thumbnail or anything, and it shot from like a couple thousand views to like 60,000 views in like a couple of days after that, because it sparks curiosity, right? And now it feels like I'm getting into this like, how does that work? Type thing. So, and then they introduced their product to a whole bunch of people who never otherwise would have heard of them.
So less is more.
Yeah. So to answer the question, like, yeah, stay away. If you use text, it's like the check mark, or it's like impossible, or it's like works every time, you know, that type of stuff. Yeah.
Great. Let's touch on this just quickly. When you know, you're looking at analytics, which, you know, can inform your strategy and your, you know, what kind of videos you want to create. What are some, you know, things that people should be looking at when it comes to that, and you know, to tell them how the video is working or performing?
Yeah. There's a mountain of data in there, right? So,
and I think most people don't know where to even start, right?
And even when you get into it, it's not clear what you're supposed to do with all that information either, you know? So you get into it and then you're like, okay, that's good to know, but what do I do with that? So we would recommend that you look at the data that corresponds as clearly as it can to you to what we call the viewing journey. So you're familiar with like a customer journey, or, you know, a sales funnel, you know, type thing. Like what brings them into the video, what hooks their attention, what holds their attention, and what gets them to take the action, what we want them to take at the end, right? So if I'm going to like boil it all down to a nutshell, it's really click-through rates on the titles and thumbnails. It is the audience retention graph for what is their reaction to while they're watching this content. Am I losing their attention regularly in like the first 10 seconds? And it goes from like 100% to like 80%. Like, how did I lose 20% of my audience in the first 10 seconds? Well, that's be a really important question to figure out to make better content. And then at the end, if I'm like trying to get someone to click and watch another video, for example, what do I need to do that increases the click-through rate on the end screen, which would be another data point to look at. So those three, there's a lot more there, but like those three would be where I would start, just because now you can use them to start noticing trends and patterns into what's effectively getting people in, holding their attention, and getting them to click to watch more, which is one of the strongest signals YouTube looks for when they're deciding what content to surface, is like how much time to someone spend on YouTube as a result of watting this video. So those would be the three.
They want you to stay on YouTube. So if you can help them stay on YouTube, they're going to promote your video. All right, so let's dive in a little bit. You'll be at Content Marketing World this year, and your session is about how to generate sales through your YouTube videos. So what is the number one mistake you see companies or brands doing when it comes to this?
Only one? Oh, okay.
Or more
So
than one?
I'm gonna cheat a whole bunch into one. Right?
Gotcha.
So the main mistake is, and I don't know why marketers don't tend to make this mistake anywhere else in marketing world. I don't know why they do it on YouTube. Because once I point it out, you're probably gonna do like a big face palm and you'd be like, oh my gosh, of course, right? So nowhere else in marketing world do we have like 15 goals for one piece of content, and they're all equally important, right? We want every video we publish, it's got to get a lot of views, got to get a lot of comments, it's got to get a lot of subscribers, it needs to rank #1, it needs to hit the homepage, it needs to be a suggestive, it needs to go big on Reddit, it's got to generate a lot of traffic to our website, generate sales, email list, blah blah blah. And so at the end of every video, it's not, or even in the middle, it's not uncommon for me to see people like, okay, go buy this, I got this free guide for you here, click this, subscribe, comment, like, blah blah blah. And you guys know, like, if you ask people to do more than 2 things, the likelihood of them doing either one of those things drops significantly. So we work with our clients to say, just pick one thing. I know you can make a Swiss Army knife video that does a lot of things and nothing well, right? We don't want to do that. We want to make the video that is designed, this entire video is designed to accomplish this one thing specifically. So at Content Marketing World, we'll talk about how we take a content strategy and break them up into 3 different categories. And like every video we do has to have one of these 3 goals and none of the others. Because think about it, like what I just shared is one of the strongest signals that YouTube looks for is how, if we surface this video, how much longer does this person spend watching YouTube? And if the goal of your video is to end the viewing session, get people off of YouTube and onto your website, well, now if YouTube's got 2 different videos to surface, they got yours and people stay on YouTube, let's say for another 2.5 minutes, and they got this other video where people stay on YouTube for another 30 minutes. I mean, YouTube's surfacing this one all day long, even if your click-through rate is higher, even if your watch time is higher, etc. So it's really important that we design content that only accomplishes one thing, whether it be like, hey, click and keep watching this video right here and give a quick pitch for that, whether that be to create community and spark engagement and comments, or that be to like click the link, buy, download, sign up, register, whatever, and get people off of YouTube. We just don't want to mix those, because if you're trying to make a video that's intended to be discoverable and rank and perform well, but then the goals that end the viewing session, those are competing goals and they don't work well. So we're going to talk in content marketing world, how do we split those 2 goals and make content that's designed to do this and other stuff in between as well. So yet you can now start mapping your entire sales funnel, customer journey kind of thing right on your YouTube channel. So
great.
Sense.
Sounds like a great session. Andrew wants
you want to come now, don't you?
Oh, I'll be there. Andrew wants to know, when you lose a large portion of your audience in the first 10 seconds, do you want to try the same content again, tweak it? Do you delete the original? Do you leave it? What are some maybe tips on that?
Yeah, we usually, it's hard to know what the action step is in just one video. It's usually a pattern you have to look for. Mm-hmm. So for example, we work with one creator, one guy, and whenever he would say the word module, like bloop, people would just leave, right? You wouldn't know that by looking at just one video, but you got to look over lots of videos. You start seeing this pattern unfold. Very generally speaking though, Andrew, most times when we see that type of behavior is when there's a high abandonment at the beginning of the video and you can't find any pattern. Typically the pattern is that the title and thumbnail set an expectation that wasn't immediately met, or the curiosity stretched out even further. So for example, if the title of the video is something like how to use spreadsheet for your taxes, I don't know, something boring. And then it opens with hey guys, good to see you again. My name's Andrew, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how to use your spreadsheet for your taxes. The audience is like, I know. That's why I clicked. Get on with it. And they're just going to, the tension that was in their brain that got them to click is dissipated immediately with that type of opening, as opposed to doing something like, they click on that title, for example, and it's like, I've been using this other tool all the time, and it's cost me $10,000 in extra taxes a year. And then I can't find it. Like, you start getting like into the frustrations of why someone's looking into this in the first place. You start getting into a little storytelling right there. And especially if there's emotion behind it, which, there's always emotion behind taxes. So that shouldn't be too hard with this topic. Then that's way more intriguing, and that increases the curiosity. Right. So you just the problem most people have is they come to YouTube thinking of approaching it like television, which is the medium most of people know, but this isn't television. People come to it with very different behaviors, expectations. The viewing environment is called a lean in experience, where people aren't distracted, versus television is called a lean back experience, where people are usually multitasking. So it's very important that we increase tension or deliver immediately on the thing someone clicked for. So if without having seen your content, that's the thing I would probably advise you to check out first.
That is a great, I want to get this question real quick. Sorry. Kimberly wants to know, do you approach YouTube differently depending on B2B versus B2C? Do you think that's...
Not really. I still think it's P2P, which I call people to people, so, at least maybe someone else has coined that before too, but I don't know. It's like, you're not targeting a corporation. You're still targeting a person at the corporation who has a problem they're trying to solve. And so, yeah. Great. It doesn't change too much.
Right. All right. Thank you, Tim, so much. Tim will be at Content Marketing World this year here in Cleveland, Ohio. Tim, you first attended in 2019. How was it? What are you looking forward to this year?
I loved it. Yeah. The main thing I enjoy at Content Marketing World is all the connections that take place. It's the shaking the hands in the hallway. It's the hanging out. It's walking up to people who look like they don't have anyone to talk to and shaking their hand, and hearing some amazing stories. Everyone's there for a reason, and everyone's there to learn. Everyone's there to connect. And so I just found that introducing myself has been awesome, and connecting with people has always been what's the most valuable part for me has been.
All right, great. How can people find you? If I said videocreators.com, sign up for his newsletter. I get great value out of that. What else can...
Yeah, if anyone's watching this and they're like, hey, I'd love to sit down with someone on your team, Tim, and just 15, 20 minutes and have a quick discussion about my channel, what I'm trying to do. We'd love to get into a discovery call with you. There's there you go, the link, videocreators.com. It's really long. I need to make it shorter, but it's there you go. Or video. I'll make it at the end of it. Videocreators.com/discovery call will be the redirect. But let's just talk with you, hear what you're working on, and see if we can help you do it better, reach more people, and change their lives with the message that you're spreading and the business that you're growing on YouTube.
Thank you so much, Tim. Like I said, I've been a fan of Tim's. I follow him. I get great value, great tips out of all their content. So I highly suggest you find him. And of course, please come to Content Marketing World and check out sign up for Tim's session as well. He would love to see you. If you saw him here, I think you should mention to him, if you're at Content Marketing World, that this is where you saw him. That would be great.
Yeah.
And if you do, go head over to contentmarketingworld.com and sign up. Use the code LIVE100 to save $100 on your registration. I will be back here next week with some more amazing speakers from Content Marketing World. Tim, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to leave you all today with a little video so you guys can get an idea of what Content Marketing World is like. So thanks, Tim. I'll see you.
Thank you. All right. See you, everybody.
I love Content Marketing World. This is the best group of people.
It's unlike anything I've seen at any other conference.
I've admired this conference for so many years.
There's just an electricity spark in the air.
And just the overall vibe of Content Marketing World is awesome. I mean, it's a fun place to be.
You won't find a more engaged and passionate group of content marketers anywhere else in the world.
This is an event that celebrates all of the how-tos, and you're going to see some of the best and most world-renowned speakers and experts on this topic.
The keynotes have been fantastic. Some of these people, I mean, they're like icons to me. I've been following them for a long time, and it's like going to a concert of Bon Jovi, right? Like they're right here in the room. There is such a wide variety of different areas of focus within content marketing.
Focus on getting as much content out of the sessions as possible. Take notes, ask questions.
What I find is that there's so many